This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so I will just give you a quick brief about the Tosca. Okay, so Tosca is a scriptless automation tool, and many organizations are using this tool. So many giants are using usually this tool, like Infosys, Wipro, LTI, and Accenture, and many more. So Tricentis has partnered with all these clients, and they are working with many uh, projects of banking. Then we have an insurance domain. Then we have entertainment domain. Okay, so why this tool is getting so much popularity in the coming days? Why we are considering Tosca as automation tool apart from we already have the free open source tools like we have um, Selenium for UI, then we have a REST assured, and then we have a protractor, puppeteer, and many more like for database connection we have JDBC and all. So you can connect and you can perform all this kind of testing. Why we are still want to go ahead with the Tosca tool? Even Tosca is having a paid license. Okay, so just to give you the advantages, what are the different advantages we have related to Tosca? Is my screen visible? Anyone
Yes, yes,
can?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, visible.
Yes.
Okay. The first thing will be the scriptless testing. So you don't have to learn any specific, there is no prerequisite to learn any specific programming language. Like you, for Selenium, you have to learn C Sharp, Java, Python, or any other, whatever language you are comfortable with. So first you have to learn that particular language and then only you will be able to perform the testing. Correct? But in case of Tosca, you don't have to learn any programming language. So it is a scriptless automation tool. Okay. So it is simple to use. So the sections are divided in a proper manner. So I'm going to show you the application as well. So there are test case design section, then we have a module section, then we have execution section. All the sections are divided in a such a way to give you the friendly features. Okay, so easy to adapt all those features. Then have a less framework writing. So you don't have to go with it like if we are opting for Selenium or any other automation tool. So there are different types of framework like page object model, then we have data driven, then we have keyword driven, behavioral driven. Okay, all those different kind of framework will be there according to your requirement. You will going to design. But in case of Tosca, only it will going to follow module-based architecture. This is the only architecture we are following in Tosca. Okay, so high reliability Tosca claim to support asset reuse, copy paste functionality for unit testing and subsystem. So once you are able to design your module properly, you will be able to use it n number of times. Okay, and then we have a powerful query languages. So Tosca has designed their own query language that is called as a PQL Tosca query language. So if you want to search certain test cases or you want to search any attributes or module, so you can perform using that PQL, you can perform that search within your Tosca. Okay. Then these are the key features of Tosca. Vision AI. So they have implemented this to recognize the element on a application. Okay, make the element unique. So that feature is called as the Vision AI. Then we have a module-based test automation. So it is following architecture of module-based automation. Then we have a risk-based test optimization. So in the risk-based, what we have a requirement section. So if you're product owner or uh, Business analysts want to do some risk-based testing, then even they can do that in Tosca. Then we have service virtualization, test data management, test distributed execution. So in distributed execution, like there will be a client and server configurations. Using that, you can execute your test cases on a nightly basis to multiple machines. Then we have a API scan. You can even automate the API using Tosca. Then we have a automation recording assistant. So if you want to record any test cases, so using just you have to start the recording and then you can simulate all the actions and then accordingly your test cases will be created. Then we have a mobile testing. So even you can perform the mobile testing as well. So these are the features, main features of Tosca. Yeah, so these are the disadvantages of Tosca. So Tosca is only compatible with Windows operating system. So Mac and Linux or any other device will be not supported. So if you have to use Tosca, you should have Windows machine. Okay. Difficult modules. So if you are not able to perform your scanning properly on a particular module, okay, there are some best practices from Tosca, Tricentis Tosca. You have to follow that and create your module so that it can be reused or you are executing multiple times. It should not fail your test cases. Okay, so if you are not designing your model correctly, then it is going to give you a problem in future. A significant maintenance issue. So it is only following one kind of module based testing only. So there are no other framework structure will be provided. So you have to go with the module based architecture only. Okay. And for integration with different application, so there will be some cost associated to it. So there is a task of any more third party application is there. So for integration, you have to get paid for those and then only you will be able to do the integration. Okay, and the last one will be the licensing. So it's a bit costly one, so most of the smaller organization are not using because of that. Only big MNCs and all they are using this product. Okay, these are few uh, comparison only related to Selenium only. So types of application, Tosca support almost all application. So you can design your end-to-end scenario like you are getting a data from database or you are getting your data from Excel or getting a data from API and that data you want to put it in your web application or Windows application. So you can do end-to-end automation using a single tool using a Tosca. But that is not the case in Selenium. Only you can automate the web UI. You won't be able to automate the API part. So if you want to do the automation of the API, you have to go with the Postman or REST Assured or any other automation tool. Okay. Then it's a paid one. So Tosca is a paid one, and as you know, Selenium is a free and open source. Then we have a automation type. So it is following a model based of automation, and then Selenium is based on the code based automation. So you can use any type of coding to do the automation. In Tosca, we don't have to script, so it's a scriptless tool. And in Selenium, you have to learn certain languages to start with the automation. We will be able to perform the API testing in Tosca. In case of Selenium, it is not possible. Then we have a test data management. In test data management, so there are some internal tools which are developed by Tosca. You can use test sheets. So we're going to see that in details. We have a test data services. We have test sheet, and if some external files will be there like CSV or Excel file, even you can use that to get the data. But in case of Selenium, we don't have any internal test data management. So if you want to fetch the data from the Excel on all, so you have to use Apache POI or something like that to get the data to your application. So your usability of test cases. So once your module will be created properly, you can reuse that module in this one. But in case of reusability or method you want to create in Selenium, so that will be useless. Accordingly, you have to do the modifications and all. Exploratory option is there in Tosca, but in case of Selenium, that is not there. And then we have a CI/CD integration, so you can integrate with your Jenkins. You can execute a cron job and all for both for Tosca and as well as for the Selenium. Okay, there is the integration with Jira, and you can, according to your requirement, you can integrate with Qtest or Jira or any other defect management tool as per your requirement. Then we have a support. So facility support will be provided. Okay, so when you stuck somewhere and you are not able to perform any activity, so you have to raise a incident ticket and they will going to help you to resolve the issue. In case of Selenium, we don't have such support. So there is a community, you can go and you can search it in Stack Overflow, and there are many more sites which can help you to debug according to your problem. Okay. Any questions up till now? Anyone? Anyone is having any query?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, yeah, you're
Just
audible.
wanted to, yeah, just wanted to ask. We will be using the free trial version, no? For this
Yes,
session. That
yes.
was of
So 60
14
days,
days.
around 40 to 45 to 60 days trial license will be there. Okay, and then you can renew it. So we will going to create a dummy user, and accordingly we will going to create a new user. So once that will be done, then we can create another one. Okay, so that the
Okay,
licensing issue will not be there.
okay. And in this session, we will be preparing for few certifications as well. Means there are different certification like Qtest, Tosca automation.
Yeah,
Is
so
the
once you are done with this session, you will be able to easily clear the AS1 and the AS2 certification, and there are many more certifications like TDS1 and TDS2 and AE1. So you will be able to clear these five certifications easily, and these certifications are free, so you don't have to pay anything.
okay.
Okay, anything else? Anyone? Any queries? Okay, so if you don't have any more questions, so we will go to the application and see how this application looks. Okay, so this is the the Tosca is designed in a different section. The first section will be a test case section. This is called as a blue world, in which we will going to design our test cases. Okay, all the test cases will be designed over here, and then we have a module section. So in module section, what we will do, we will going to create a module for our test cases. So there are some standard modules which are provided by Tosca itself. Okay, so you can use that as well. Let me show you box automation tools. So over here you have Windows operation. So if you want to perform certain operation like take a screenshot, send keys, Windows operation, maximize, minimize, or there will be a Windows pop-up. So you can handle using all those. Okay. Then we have a buffer operation. In buffer operation, what you will do? You will going to buffer any element, so you can save it with a certain variables. Then we have an expression evaluation. So if you want to do some comparison like greater than equal to or any mathematical operation, so you can perform it using a T-box evaluation tool. Okay. Then we have a file operation. Then if you want to perform certain file operation like create or delete or update, append and all, so you can do it using this one. Then we have a folder. Then we have a numeric operation. All those. So this is T-box start program. If you want to perform certain activity like you want to open a CMD or open any Windows based application, So using that, you can open that application using Tbox start program. Okay, then we have a Selenium as well. So if you want to execute you already have a Selenium script and you want to execute it using Tosca. So you just have to provide the path of that script and it will going to get executed. Okay. Then we have a timing. So if you want to add some static weight to your application, so you can use this timer. Okay, so for the Tosca best practices, these are not used. You're going to use another feature that is called as a wait out. Okay, then we have a T-box engine. So if you are working with any of the application, like you want to do the testing for the database, so you have to use these modules for the database. Then we have a HTML. So if you want to open the URL and all, so you can use this one. Then we have a file operation. So if you are working with any of the files, so you can use that. Then we have a XML. Then we have a JSON, mobile, mail. So you can integrate with your Outlook. These are the modules. So you have to provide the correct details, configuration details, and you will be able to automate the Outlook part as well. Then we have a SAP, Java, Excel. So you have a external file, Excel file. So using these modules, you can fetch the data or you can write the data to the Excel file. We have a PDF. If you want to do the comparison of a PDF, you can do that. Then we have a host engine. So if you are working on any legacy application like mainframe and all, so using this one, you will be able to automate that as well. Okay, so these are the tools and technology we can use to do the automation. Then we have a test data services. So what is test data services? Like you want the data to be present globally. If you are executing any test cases and you want that data to be present globally. So for that, what you can do, you can add your data using a test data services. So let me show you. For test data services, apart from Tosca Commander, you have to install uh, Tosca server as well. While this is getting updated, your Tosca server will going to handle your distributed execution, test management, licensing, and all. All these will be handled under the Tosca server. So you have to install this file separately apart from Tosca Commander. So if I go to test data management over here, so then we have a like consider repository like this one. Okay, I'm having I want to add a sample file. So add type and you can add as a test and you already have a CSV or Excel any file, so you can just browse it and add that file. So we will going to use a sample file over here. Okay, so these are the sample files. I'm just going to click on add and that details will get added over here. So 500 rows are added and we will see how we'll going to uh, fetch this data using a test data services. So these will be installed on your one of the server machine and that server machine will going to give you the data. Okay, this is not present locally. So this will be going to execute in our server machine and from there only we will be able to fetch all this detail in all our machines. So when we are executing these test cases on a multiple machines on a different agent machine, so over there we can fetch this data. So there will be no dependency. Okay, this is one of the way to manage the data in Tosca. I will show you the different way by which we can manage the data as well. Okay, so using test data services, we are going to handle all these data. If you want to create a data over there, you can create it. You want to update it, you want to delete it. All the current operation you can able to perform using the test data services model, which are provided by Tosca. Okay, then we have a requirement section. So in requirement section, what you have to do, you have to add your you have to create a requirement and you have to add your all the test cases, execution list, and accordingly your frequency class and damage class will be added, and it will going to give you the weight. And then as per your execution pass and fail, it will going to give you the risk associated to your test cases. Okay. Then we have a test design section. So if you are having static data, the data which are not getting changed, okay, so you can use the test case design to get the details. Like I want the data to be created for one of the application. Okay. Let me show you the application. Yeah, this is the data. I want to fill all this data and that data will be static only. These data are not getting changed. So using a test sheet, I can do that. So using test sheet, you will be able to pass this data to your test cases. Okay. So once you are able to, okay, let me show you the other. So even you can use permutation and combination to create the test cases. Like you are having a BMW motorcycle, so you want to perform with all the permutation combinations, so you will be able to create accordingly. Okay, so all the permutation combination will be created using a create instance. You want to go with, there are different approaches to create the multiple scenarios. Okay, so we are going to see that in details. Accordingly, you can create your test cases. Now, once you are able to design your test cases, now I want to execute my test cases. So for that, there is a execution section. So over here, you just have to drag and drop the test cases over here. Just I want to execute this test case. So simply what you have to do, you have to, I think the test cases are already added. Yeah, so simply drag and drop in the execution list. Your test case will get added. And from here, you can execute that particular test case. Okay, and once your execution will be done, whatever it will be passed or filled, you can extract the report. Just do a right click and there is option of print report. So accordingly, the more detail you want, you can accordingly you can select the template and it will going to give you the report. Okay, any questions up till now? Okay, so you can see over here there are different formats. So in whichever format you want to select, you want to fetch the report, you can use these many formats. So I just want to get the reports in PDF format. So I will going to use Adobe PDF format and click on OK. It will going to ask me for the path where you want to save it, and then it will going to open the PDF. So the created date will be printed over here. Then we have a summary. So how many tests are getting passed, how many of them you have not yet executed, how many got failed. Okay, this is the pie chart, execution summary, and then over here how much is the percentage, and you will going to get the log as well. So if your test cases are getting filled with particular logs, so the logs will going to get attached over here in your report. Okay, and then we have a scratchbook session. So in scratchbook, like if you want to execute a particular step, or like you want to try it out, okay, I have added one of the feature and I want to check that particular module is working or not. So you can execute that single module and you can you will be able to see it under the scratchbook section. The difference between the execution list and the scratchbook: once you execute your test cases in scratchbook and again you will going to execute another test cases, your details will get overwrite. Okay, so if you want to save the logs of your test cases, so you have to execute your test cases in an execution list so that your logs will get saved. Okay, so scratchbook, once you close the command of this Tosca section, your uh, logs will get removed from the scratchbook. Okay, so scratchbook is kind of a playground you just use to check that particular module or attribute is working or not. Okay, any questions up till now related to the sections in Tosca? Anyone?
As you have shown like the report section, so is it possible to customize the reports in Tosca
Yeah, you can,
kind of, and what
as
kind
per
of
your,
customizations like we can do?
so as per your requirement, you can do the customization, like you want to add a screenshot, whatever it is, you just have to create a template and add it in Tosca. Okay, so for that you have to learn TQL. Okay, so because TQL only will be used to fetch the data and all, so you should be able to good in TQL, Tosca query language.
Okay, so like is it possible in Tosca to generate the reports at three levels? Like one is like very high level, one is like complete detailed one, and one is like high level with the no the, have the
Yeah,
high
so
level
there are
details
different
and
templates. Yes,
lower as well.
so there are different logs according to your requirement. You can stack the report. Okay, these are the different templates.
I think these are the by default ones. So I was
Yes.
asking about the customizations.
So if you want to do the customization, then accordingly you can create your using a TQL. You can create your template and add it over here.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Anything else? Anyone?
One more question, like I have again. Is
Mhm.
it possible in Tosca? Let's say I have different, can say I need to execute the same test case on different like applications like web app, desktop, and on mobile, on somewhere else like cross browser as well. The same test case, and my logs should not be overridden.
Okay. So for that you have to create a different execution list. Okay. So you can create multiple execution lists and you can add the configurations over here. Like you want to execute in a browser like Edge, and in second scenario you want to execute in Chrome, so you can create another execution list and over there you can add the browser as Chrome, Firefox, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone else is having any doubt or not able to understand any topic? Okay. So if you don't have anything, so we will quickly going to automate the application and see how that works. Okay. So I will go to my test case section and over here, uh,
I think someone has raised their hand. So can we take that question? Like if someone is,
okay. Yeah, Atul, go ahead. Yeah, Kuldeep. So for your question, we have already answered. Like you will be able to finish. I'm not audible. Yeah, you are not audible. So you can just ping your questions over here. Okay. So we're going to take two questions
Uh,
later.
Actually, while doing the installation, no, for the
Mm-hmm.
Tosca, so uh, we have the Tosca commander, right? Through
Yeah.
which we open and we used to enter the credentials. I've
Mm-hmm.
registered with the same email ID and the same password, username and password.
Mm-hmm.
But still, after
Okay.
entering the details in the Tosca commander, I'm getting no valid credentials likewise. So, is there
Okay.
any issue for that, or what will be the issue?
So we're going to provide you the steps. Okay. So what are the steps needs to be followed for the for creating your own credentials, trial license,
Am I
and then
audible?
accordingly. Yeah, you're audible.
Sorry, please continue. After you will go. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to provide you with the steps. What are the steps needs to be followed, and once your credentials will get activated, then only you will be able to enter that in your Tosca Commander. Okay. Anyone else is
Yeah. So
having
my
any
question
question?
is, yeah.
Yeah.
So my question is like the way we are doing for end-to-end execution. Okay, the way
Mm-hmm.
we are doing in Selenium, let's say for open instance of the browser. Okay, and we can see the end-to-end execution for the UI level. So can we
Mm-hmm.
do that in Tosca?
Yeah, we can do that. I will going to show you.
Okay.
Okay, how we can do that. Anyone else is having any questions? Please let me know. Okay, so I will take it as no. Now what I will do, I will going to create a test case over here. Okay, so let me create another test case over here. Okay, let's delete this. Okay, now what I will do, I will going to create a test case over here. Just do a right click in folder, and you will get an option over here, create test cases. So just click on that, and whatever name you want to give, you can give to your test cases. Like I will going to give it as a vehicle insurance. Okay. So what is test case? It will be a collection of your steps. Okay. So for designing your test cases, you will going to follow a certain step. Like the first step will be I will going to open the URL. Okay. Then second step will be I will going to launch the application, and then I will going to perform the certain activity. Like I want to click on the motorcycle, and then I want to enter all the details over here accordingly. Okay. So I will going to follow this step. So the first step will be I have to open the URL. So for opening the URL, what I have to do, I will go to the module section, and under Tbox engine, I'm having a HTML. So I will going to use this open URL standard modules to launch my browser. So I will going to just drag and drop it in my vehicle insurance. Now what I will do, I will simply going to copy this URL, and I will going to put it over here. Okay. Now I just want to try it out, like okay, I have added this module, and is it working or not? It is able to open that particular URL or not. So I will simply do a right click, and I will do a right click, and you can see run in Scratchbook. So I will going to execute in Scratchbook, and let's see. if it is working or not. Now it will going to launch my browser. You can see it is able to launch my browser, but the browser is launched where? In my Firefox browser, because this is my default browser in my system. Okay, but my requirement is I want to go with the Edge or Chrome. Okay, I want the execution to be done in a specific browser only. So for that, what I will do, I will going to add a configuration parameter in my test case. So I will go to my test case, and at the top you will going to get an option of test configuration parameter. So I will just do a right click over here, and you will going to get an icon over here, create test configuration parameter. So click on that, and you can select the browser. Now only this browser will be allowed to do the execution. Apart from this browser, if you want to go with some other browser or Opera or something like that, it will not going to support. Okay, so all the standard browser are already listed over here. So I want to go with the Edge, so I will going to select the Edge. And now if I execute, let me close all this. Yeah, now I want to execute my step. Let's see it is able to launch in Edge browser or not. Yeah, now it is launching in Edge browser, as you can see. Okay, let's go back to Tosca, and in Scratchbook you can see open URL is getting executed successfully, and there is a green tick mark over here. Okay, now the next step will be I have to enter all these values over here, but Tricentis has not provided any module because this is my own application, and for this application I have to design the module. So for that, what you have to do, again you have to go back to your module section and create a folder over here with your name. uh, Remove this one. Yeah, so for creating a new module, what I will do, I will simply do a right click and click on scan, and then I will move back to the application. So click on application, and Tosca will automatically scan all the open applications. So I will going to close the remaining applications which are not required. So whatever application will be there, it will automatically going to scan and show you that which application you want to scan. Okay, so I will go with this one, the edge one. So what Tosca will do automatically, once you select the application, so it will going to scan the every individual component over there. You can see all the component, you can get it over here. So whatever links are there, automobile, truck, motorcycle, all the links, drop down, labels, all the things automatically get added over here. But I don't want to create unnecessary attributes in my modules. So for that, what I will do, I will go with the select on screen options. Okay, so for me, whatever is required, I will just going to select that attribute only. That's it. So I will going to click on select on screen. I need this four link, so I will just going to add this four link in my attribute. This one. I want this label as well, and then I want to add this drop down, this text box, uh, these values, list price and annual, and then next button. Okay. So what Tosca will do, it will automatically going to identify your element using a certain ID which is uniquely identified. So you can see this automobile is identified using this ID. So that is okay. Let me go over here and let me remove all these. So if any of the IDs which is not uniquely identified, your element will be shown like this. The selected item is not unique. So you have to make this element unique using a certain property which make your element unique on that web page. So I will select the ID and let's see if it is able to make the unique or not. Yeah. Now this element is unique. Okay. So this way you have to create a module. There are different ways. Okay. So that we will going to see in detail. Now my module is created, whatever is required for my automation, I have just added it over here. And now at the top leftmost corner, you will going to see that save button is there. So click on that, or you can with the keyboard you can just press Ctrl S automatically. It will get saved. Now I will going to close this scanner and my module is saved. If I go back to Tosca and you can see that particular module is added over here and all the attributes are over here. Now I am able to launch the browser using that open URL. Now I will going to add these modules under this one. The next step will be I want to click on the motorcycles. For clicking on this motorcycle link, what you have to do? Just type click over here and the action mode should be input. Okay. Now I will going to automatically what Tosca will do, it will going to add all the values which were present in the drop down. So you will be able to see all the values. If I go to the application, yeah, these are the values present in the application. The same way, it will going to add it in your application to make your work easy. So you can select Audi, then we have a scooter, and over here you can add the text as per your requirement. Then we have 04/21/2024 MMDD YY format. Then we have this is again a drop down. I'm going to select the values over here and this price. Okay, and then again this is a click button, so I will going to perform a click over here. Okay, now I will execute. So if your already browser is open and you want to perform the activity, so there is a no concept of instance and all. Okay, so you don't have to maintain a sessions over here. So if your browser is already open, you can even execute this step directly. It will going to work. You don't have to again start with the browser and then only it will going to work. So if I execute this single step, only this action will be performed in that particular browser. So it will automatically check that particular browser and it will going to fill all those details over there. It clicked on the motorcycle and now it is entering all those details over here. Okay, I will go back to this tab and you can see all the details get filled over here. And if I go back to Tosca, so under that you will be able to see all the steps are getting passed. Okay, Now my next step will be I want to verify that when I click on this motorcycle, okay, so over here motorcycle insurance is getting displayed or not. If I click on camper, camper insurance is getting displayed or not. I have to verify that. So for that, what you will do? Simply go to that attribute, motorcycle insurance attribute is there. Expand that, and you will get an option of a inner text. And I will type. Let's go back for here. Motorcycle. I want to verify. So I will just copy that text and put it over there. And my action mode will be verify, because I have to verify that particular text is present over there or not. So I will execute this one and let's see if it is working or not. Okay, so my test case got passed. Let's see. Yeah, if I expand this, now you will be able to see in logs verification was successful. If I click on this one, so expected value was motorcycle insurance and we are getting the same. So because of that only your test case got passed. What if I make some mistakes over here, and let's do some negative testing. I remove a e from here. This should get failed because that value is not matching. Yeah, as you can see the status bar, so it is showing as your test case got failed. Let's check the log. If I expand this one, the remaining steps are working fine, but this verification point is get failed over here. You can see E is missing, and because of that only it is not matching with the actual value. So your test case got failed. Okay. So by this way you have to design your application. Any questions up till now? Anyone? Anyone is having any questions or not able to understand anything or not able to understand any topic or concept? Please let me know.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
please go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, I have one question. Like for the if test case is getting failed and take the screenshot, so we can use for that like scanning, or is that another method?
No,
Another.
for screenshot and all, there is another concept. Okay, so we will going to see that in details.
Okay.
Okay, so there is a settings, you just have to enable it, and whenever your test case is going to get filled, it will going to take a screenshot.
Okay. And the when you are defining that when you are scanning, so the data types in the right side, that is by default it shows the strings as per our our requirement. We can change, like you change
Yes.
for that.
So
Yeah,
it will
this
be
data
like
type.
if you are having a data type of state or numeric, or you are having some a password kind of thing. So you can like consider this as text as a password field. Okay. So I want to encrypt it. Just enter the values of your password and make it as a password. So automatically this value will get encrypted. Okay. It will going to enter the same values in your application, but that will be in an encrypted format. No one will be going to able to decrypt it. If some of your colleague want to see this password, okay, if they change this to string again, so it will get removed. Okay, if I click outside, you can see the values get removed. Again you have to enter the value. So you want, once you enter the values and make it as a password, so that will get encrypted and no one else will going to decrypt it.
Okay. And if we want to like execute for providing the different values, so is that also possible?
Yeah, so for that, what
Like
you have to do, you have to add the credentials under the test case configuration parameter. You can create the configuration over here with username and password, and you can add those details and make the string as password. Okay, if you are having a
okay, and
different
yeah, the
credentials,
details
you
you
can pass it.
passed. Okay, the details you passed as in details. Can you just go to details? Yes, the details you passed like Audi scooter 2000. If I want to just provide like different type of like details here, so is that also possible for that? Like
Yeah,
Audi
that
instead of
will,
okay,
so you can change it, or you want to create a number of test cases accordingly, you can change it. Okay. There is another concept using a test sheet. We can do that. Like you want to create a combination of test cases. Like you want to go with Audi, and then you want to first try it out with scooter, then try it out with three wheeler, moped, motorcycle. All the permutation combination you can create in a single shot using test case design section. Okay. So you don't have to copy and paste n number of times. Once you put that data in that sheet, and automatically as per this permutation combination, that number of test cases will going to get created. So that will be a
and
part of framework designing.
okay, and one another question that is like if I am having like a file concept, so if I am two different locations file I have kept, so if I want to like comparison of the files and the results comparison, is that also possible?
Yeah, so if you have a PDF or something like that, then you will be able to do that. So we have a standard modules. Okay.
And what about
uh,
Excel and CSV files?
that you won't be able to compare, because for that you have to use a Tosca DI. Okay, so that is another concept called a Tosca data integrity. So in that only you will be able to do the comparison with your Excel or CSV file. So that details will get added in your, there are different modules. Okay, so it will going to fetch all those data, and then they will going to compare the row by row comparison. So
Okay.
it will going to execute parallelly. So around 40 to 50 rows in seconds they will going to compare. So that will be used when you have a chunk of data, huge chunk of data in GB and TB. So in that case,
Mhm.
Tosca DI is getting used. Okay, so that is having another separate license that will cost.
Okay. And simple like if like in data driven type, if I'm fetching this like if not a chunk of data, it's like username password if kept in the Excel and fetching the detail that
Yeah,
time
that
also.
that we can do. So what you
Okay.
have to do, simply we will going to use that. Yeah. So using this Excel read write concept. Okay, so you have to provide the Excel name, then you have to provide the range, then over here under rows and columns, you will be able to fetch the, write the data, fetch the data, or you want to do verification, even you can do the verification as well over there. Okay, or if you want to buffer some values, even you can do that in Excel.
I think he's asking about the parameterization of the
Yeah, yes,
data
yes.
in that is like we can
Okay, so you
use the
want to
template.
fetch the username and password from the Excel sheet, correct?
Yeah, Excel sheet. Yes, yes, Excel sheet.
Yeah, so we
So
can do that as well. So you have to buffer the values from the Excel sheet, and that buffer value you can use it in your application as a username and password. Okay, so for
so
fetching the data from the Excel, you have to use these four modules.
Excel sheet.
Okay, Okay.
So actually, there is one more way. Like there is a template option in Tosca, so you can parameterize your data by using that as well. Like you can generate number of cases, and you can pass the data from Excel in your cases.
So this will be a more faster way if you are passing the data from the test sheet. So it will going to behave in the same way. But if you are having an
Yeah.
external file like Excel, or your client is providing you with some Excel file and you have to use that, so then you, because for fetching those data you have to use these four modules. So again it will going to hit the Excel, then it will going to fetch the data, and then it will be, then your operation will be performed. Okay, so instead of adding those data in Excel, you can just add it over here and you can pass it in your test cases. That will be a easier one. Okay, so I have automated one end-to-end scenario. Just wanted to show you. So how you have to design your. Someone was asking like how to design the end-to-end test cases. So let's see. It will going to add all the details. It will going to click on the checkbox, and it will going to add the image over here. The image is added using that pop-up, and now it will going to select the coverage, and then last email and all will get added, and we are waiting for the confirmation. It will click on OK, and it will going to close the application. Okay, so this way you have to perform the end-to-end test cases. And if you are having a database API, even you can that as well in your end-to-end test cases to get the data or fetch the data, or you want to do a verification. So you can do that as well. Okay. Any more questions you have?
So I have one question here.
Yeah.
I'm audible? Okay. So
Yeah, you
based
are
on
audible.
the parameters under the detail section, right, it will decide how many number of times we need to run the test cases. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Under test case design section, it will going to decide how many test cases will be created. Like I said, you want to try it, you want to create a test cases with BMW motorcycle. So this
Mm-hmm.
one test cases will be created. Then again I want to try it the same combination with Audi and moped or Ford moped. So these number of test cases will be created in your instance. So you can see two test cases are created over here.
Okay. Okay. So it will trigger one by one. Let's say first it will
Yes,
going to as a BMW, then second other one, right?
yes. So if I go to the BMW over here and go to this one, so these data are coming from test sheet. You can see BMW is there, moped is there. If I go
Mm-hmm.
with Ford, so Ford and moped
Got it.
will be there.
Got
Okay,
it.
and
Mm-hmm.
I want to like going ahead, something will going to get changed. Okay, so you don't have to come over here and do the changes to all the data. Simply you have to go to your test case design section, and okay, let me check out this one. Okay, so my test case is getting failed. I want to instead like from the application someone has removed the BMW option only, and wherever
Mm-hmm.
you have BMW options it will going to get failed because it is not able to find that BMW option in your drop down. So your all the test cases will going to get failed. So now what I have to do, I have to change the option. Simply come over here and select the Audi or any other value, and that will automatically get added reflected in your test cases. You don't
Okay.
have
So
to touch your test cases.
correct. So parameterization will taken care by test case design. Is that
Yes,
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So my second question is like the way we are doing, I mean, for other frameworks, right? For one page,
Hmm.
we have one class, Java class. For another page, we have second Java class, right? I mean, as a
Hmm.
page object model concept. So are we
Yes.
following the same in Tosca as well, or how it is?
Yeah. So the same concept will be used using a module. Okay. So let me go to the module. Now what I have done for this particular page, sorry. Yeah. So for this particular page, I need all these attributes. So I have added. Now, if I go to the enter insurance data tab, for this tab, I need all these. So I will going to create another module with insurance data, enter insurance data, and I will going to add this detail in the second module. Okay, so it is kind of similar kind of class only. So every individual, okay, let me show you for the test sketch which I have designed. Like I have done the execution for this one. So I have created a module for this one. Let's go back to the module section. Yeah, so I have designed in such a way that okay, for enter insurance data, all the details you will be able to find it over here. For enter insurance data, vehicle data is there and insurance data is there. So accordingly, we have a product, then we have a price, then we have a send code. Okay, so I have
Okay.
aggregated
Mhm.
all those in the module fashion.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so
yep, yep, yep,
yeah,
yep.
so going ahead, if I need anything extra, like in enter vehicle data, I want to add certain things, so you just have to scan that particular value and add that data in that particular module. Okay,
Yeah. Okay. So based on pages, we need to bifurcate our, that data under one module.
module. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. My last question is like, how we are going to maintain the code? I mean, do we need to follow any repo or Git or Bitbucket? Like,
So in organization level, it will be handled using a database. Okay, the credentials will be provided. You just have to log in. You don't have to take care of all this. So these will be handled by your architect. Okay, they will going to create a repository, and then the credentials will be provided to you. Just you have to log in. That's it, and you have to
oh,
just do the automation and just make sure that whenever you are exiting this application, do a check-in all so that whatever changes you have done, that should get saved to your repository. Okay,
okay, okay. Okay. So check-in is like push for us. I mean,
it will be kind of a git pull. Sorry, git push.
okay. Yep, yep, yep. Okay. So here we,
Okay,
yeah. Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay.
and
Here
same
we are
way
not
when
correct,
yeah
correct.
when you are
Hmm.
again you want to start your session. So what you have to do, you have to take a pull. So this will be a kind of git pull update all. So those who have done the changes, that will get added in your repository. Okay.
Cool. Yep. Thank
Okay.
you.
Anything else? Anyone is having any more questions? Okay. So if no one is
Different
having any, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So different test cases like we have. So can we set the priority wise test cases if we want to run for priority, like one, two, and
We don't have any concept of priority over here. So what you can do, you want to club your test cases, just create execution list over here, and you can add those test cases in that particular execution list.
okay,
Okay. So once your test cases will be done, so there are different work state. Okay. So once you are designing it, it will be under plan. Once you are working on that particular test case, so make it as in progress. Okay, so this will be the spanner over here, and once that is done, so you have to mark it as complete. Your spanner will be removed from here. So the people will get to know that okay, this test case is completely automated and it is ready to use. They will going to add it in the execution list. Or you are working on this one, so make it as in work, and your this spanner will be get added over here. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So I will take it as no. We will quickly going to see the automation of API. Okay. So I won't take much time. So for API automation, there is a tab called as API automation. So I will just click on the API scanner. I hope all of you are already aware of the API testing. Okay, so let's take some dummy site for the API. Mm, okay, so this is a dummy site. We are going to use it. I will going to click on this one. Yeah, you can see all the get, post, put requests. You will be able to see it over here. Okay, so I will going to use a get API for our uh, testing. So you can see this is the API and we are getting all the result over here. So I will simply copy this one and I will going to put it in my Tosca. So I will put that values over here. So till dot in, that will be your endpoint and the remaining will be under the resource section. So I'm going to remove this one, and now this is the get method. So I will going to add a get, and if there is another method post put, so accordingly you can select. Now this is under the request. Mm, I have added all those. Under response we have not hit response yet, so I will going to hit that response and let's see if I make a request I'm getting a response over here or not. Is there something? Okay, I think slash was missing. Yeah, now I got the response. You can see the tab, response tab. So I'm getting a data over here. Now you are able to get the data. So what you have to do, you have to simply export that test cases. So for before doing that, you have to check out the parent folder of your project. Okay, then only it will going to add that test cases over here. Okay, so now what I will do, I will simply do a export. Okay, so my export is completed. You can see that module is created over here. Now I want to parameterize it. You can see I don't have any modules over here, so I want to parameterize it. Select the values and click on add. So I'm going to click add. Method is added. Now I want to add an endpoint because going forward your endpoint will going to get changed. So I have to make it as parameterization. Endpoint is added. I want to add a resource. So I'm going to click on add. Resource is added the same way. I will going to add the response over here. So I'm going to select Control A and click on add, and all those components will going to get added. I need a status code as well. So I will going to click on the status code and click on add. So status code is added. My attributes are created. Now I will going to create a test case out of it. So this is my test case. Okay. Under request method, what we have to select? We have to select get method. Then we have an endpoint. So we have added an endpoint. Now under uh, response, what we have to validate? We have to validate. Let's see. Let's go to the application. Like I want to validate these values are present or not. Okay, 7 and Michael Lawson and all. So I will going to verify. I'm going to select a 7, then Michael, and then Lawson. The image is 7, I think. Okay, so if I hit this request and under the response, I want to validate these many things. Okay, there is an email as well. So select the email as well. Now, if I execute this one, so let's see if it is working or not. Okay, so let's expand this one and see. Yeah, so all the verification is successful. You can see 7 is present, email is getting verified. Okay, all those values get verified. Let's do some negative testing. I will go back and under response, I will going to change some value. Okay, let's change the value to 8. This should get filled because for this one, for Michael Lawson, the values are 7 and I changed to 8. So this should get filled. If I execute this one again, so as expected, got filled, and let's see the under email, sorry, under image, I think, yeah, avatar, it is getting filled. So we were expecting 8 but actually 7. So this way, if you want to uh, verify multiple values, so just you have to add the multiple values over here, n number of time whatever you want to validate, 8, 9, 10, 11, all those values you can add it over here and it will going to verify accordingly. Okay, that is the API testing, and we're going to see more in detail how to create a post and put request, how to add the bearer token. Okay, all those will be covered once we will start with the full-fledged testing. Okay, anything else? Any questions up till now? Anyone is having? Anyone? Akshay, Ankur, Atul, Sharon, Kishore, Nilima, anyone? Priyanka, Ragini, Rubina, Preeti.
It's like great addition to our automation stuff in UI as well as API. But
Yeah.
however, we need to check the I mean, the, I mean how we can achieve it in our I mean respective projects, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So the main advantage of Tosca is like you are having a multiple application. Okay. So in under the same roof, you will be able to automate all those scenarios, which can include desktop, API, UI, Excel will be there, database will be there. So you don't have to go for some other application like Selenium, uh,
Hmm.
JDBC connection, rest assured, and all. Under one roof, you will be able to automate all the scenarios. So that's the
Okay,
main
in this
advantage of.
correct. So in Tosca as well, I mean we can verify the UI. I mean the values from UI are
Yeah.
comparing the database value. Can we do that in Tosca, or
Yes.
because somehow we need to check the value right on the UI?
Yeah. So what you have to do,
So
you have to simply buffer the values and you can do the comparison. using the action mode verify.
Hmm.
You just have to
Okay.
buffer the values from the database, and that value will be compared in your application using action mode verify. If that will going to match, it will going to pass. If it will not going to match, it will going to get failed.
Yep. Yep.
Even you can get the data from the API as well. Same way.
Correct. Correct. Is Tosca is an open source tool or what? License?
No, it's a paid tool.
It's a paid tool. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so for the buffering concept, what I will do, I will simply going to, like, I want to buffer these values. Okay, I want to buffer the email ID. Okay, so for that, what you have to do, simply type uh, email buffer. You can give any name, whatever variable name you want to give, and make action mode as a buffer. Okay, and when I execute this one, oh, is that test is okay, let it be, but still it will be able to buffer the values because it is getting passed at the last. Yeah, so it is still able to buffer the value. You can see email buffer and your email get buffered over here. And just you want to see that these variable where it get buffered. So you have to go to the tool section at the top and you can click on the buffer viewer and you can see buffer email. That email ID is get buffered and you can use this variable wherever you want to use this email ID. Okay. Like I want to use this email ID in my application in this one. Let's add okay, I will going to add it in some text box. Okay, so I will simply do curly braces b and name of the variable square bracket email buffer. Okay, so what application will do, it will going to fetch that variable name and related to whatever value there will be, it will going to add it over here. Let's execute this application and see if it is working or not. Let's go to the application. Yeah, now you can see the list under list price, it is able to enter that particular value. Okay, the same way you can buffer any value and you can use it in your application. So for buffering a value, what you have to do, simply write the name of the variable and action mode will be buffer. It will going to buffer the value. Okay, any more questions you have? Anyone?
Yes, I would like to ask you, like, are you going to cover the CI/CD as well in Tosca,
Yeah,
or like,
we will going to cover the CI/CD. There are some advanced concepts. We're going to cover that as well. CI/CD will be
not in?
there, test data services will be there, and then shell scripting will be there as well. So even you don't have
Okay.
to open the Tosca, you just have to write the script and just run that bat command, and it will going to execute using your Tosca, all your Tosca system.
So, so for creating the bad command, like, so do we need to do any kind of scripting for that, or like?
So that I will going to show you. Okay, that you don't have to worry. There are
Okay.
two modes, interactive mode and the script mode. So I will going to show you that in details.
Okay. So you are working on Tosca or Selenium right now, like?
So I'm working on multiple technologies. Okay, Tosca, Puppeteer, and Protractor, and many other rest and all.
Okay.
Okay, any more questions you have?
I'm
Anyone?
good.
Okay, so I will going to share the recordings with you. Okay, and those who want to